Alright, we're beginning with game 5, the biggest game of the group, I would say. This is the group, the game that would decide pretty much who takes the second place. EDG need to face SK Telecom, and they started the day with a 0-through kind of standing, and that isn't the greatest thing coming into week 2. Of course, it usually puts you in a position where you need to win every game. There was a possibility for EDG to go through with a 2-4 scoreline, but AHQ beat SK Telecom, so EDG, you know, they can be pissed at AHQ if that would be the case, because if AHQ now beats Cloud9 and they didn't have that point against SK Telecom, then EDG would end up in a triple-way tie together with C9 and AHQ, and to be honest, EDG looked like the best team today. Bless me. So the thing is, with EDG's performance today, I feel like out of these 3 teams, they look like the best team. Not against SK Telecom. Like, compared to SK Telecom, it's hard to say, like, oh, they're going to beat SK Telecom 100%. I'm not too sure about that, because SKT looked quite good in the previous game against Cloud9. They played their compositions very well, and they played it out very smooth. So right now, with the Lulu ban on blue side, we should expect a Janna ban from AHQ, because there's very little response to it, especially with Xayah out. There's no Xayah Rakan to pick into it. No Janna ban. This is an easy C9 first pick Janna. I think they're very happy with it, and I think AHQ helped them more than anything by banning Galio, because AHQ will pick up Jarvan here, and they could have picked up Galio as well, but maybe this is something that West doesn't play. Rakan and Jarvan is also a way to go at it, but without Xayah, I think Rakan is not as good as it wants to be, and most likely C9 will just aim towards picking Kog'Maw, and you know, they've been picking their ranged junglers all this entire time, and I really don't like it. I think it's very, very bad, considering that the support meta is not something that can face check. It's not an Alistar, it's not a Braum, and after all, it is just the same over and over. And I think a big issue for Contracts is when he doesn't have a massive lead and his team doesn't have a massive lead, then these picks are not working out. So the second issue is when Impact is playing a tank and he's playing against something that is heavy split push, he is not able to leave his lane. Like the last game against SK Telecom, Impact was not there to get vision, but when he was there and he got the opportunity to be there, then he was. And C9 actually got vision, but that was the only opening they ever had. And in other cases, if Impact would just go and get vision with his team, then Huni would just take the entire base and C9 would have to force Nashor. Caitlyn pick, we've seen this 3 times in this tournament with a lot of success, especially with Janna and Lulu. It's a lane bully champion, and it's going to do well against anything AHQ are going to be able to throw at them, especially with Lulu out, and you know, there aren't a lot of good supports left here to match up with Twitch. This time around, C9 are going for the classic Gragas. I like it. That's definitely the way to do it. You know, this Ezreal Grace thing just doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all. I think if they had Gragas that game against SK Telecom, it would have looked a lot more competitive. And then all of a sudden Impact could play his tank, and it could be fine with the fact that he's stuck in the bot lane tower, because he would be more useful than the Jace in the team fight, and he would be happy. AHQ now with the Fizz last pick, I think they need to ban Ryze, and maybe they could ban Kassadin as well. Could be a good ban, and then they are in a good state. I don't know what other picks you can pick into Fizz, but I think Ryze should be a good one, unless you gank it, of course. Like, Ryze can get easily ganked by the Fizz ultimate, and it could be a way to shut it down, but Ryze becomes the ban now for HQ. This also means that HQ will be able to pick support later, and to be honest, knowing that they can't pick Lulu Janna, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make a difference for what they pick later on. I'm gonna have to pick like Soraka or something. Like Soraka maybe could work. Who knows? Rakan is a ban. I don't think Rakan Twitch is that good. I think especially against Kate, you know, Rakan is gonna have a hard time doing a lot of good things. And I think if they just picked Rakan, they would have just been stumped. I don't think Rakan is that big of a problem here. I think if anything, C9 should be banning top laners that will counter Impact's top laners. So like the Trundle, the Jace. I think, you know, it's not the same amount of a problem when they have a Gragas in their team. What is he doing? What the hell? What are these faces he's making? Holy moly, he's twitching a bit, man. This looks like, man, no offense, but this looks like someone took like Adderall or something for that focus. But I'm just speculating. Or I'm just joking. I'm not speculating at all. I'm just making an observation. Maybe he's just tired. He's trying to keep his eyes open. He's maybe just tired. Who knows? Let's see. I don't know. I don't even know who it is, you know. I don't recognize the players that well from LMS. LeBlanc against Fizz. Now that could be interesting. Like old LeBlanc was a lot worse against Fizz because she relied on her W to do damage, but the current LeBlanc is a lot better because she can maintain a good distance, and she can also do fine against Twitch. You know, she can jump on him and try to burst him down and then back away, but Twitch has a lot of range, so I'm not too sure. I think the longer range AD carries love to play against LeBlanc because she struggles to get in there, but if LeBlanc can find good angles, then she's always strong. Oh, C9 are flipping the table here. They're going for a Gnar pickup, Cho'Gath and Shen are out. Now the question is if Ziv can play Jace, because Jace is the counter pick to Gnar. Jace would be the pick to play. I want to talk about this Karma pick as well. I don't like it too much. Sure, you can apply Ardent Sensor, but you know, probably the best pick you can pick to survive bot lane. Maybe Soraka could be fine, but the main thing with Karma here is she's going to be a liability, and I think she's going to have a target on her back because Jensen's going to jump after her, and it's very easy for Jensen now to get in there and punish these people. Like Maokai is pretty good against LeBlanc, but Maokai won't be around. He's going to deal with the split push of Gnar most of the time, unless Fizz gets sent out there. Like Fizz can definitely deal with Gnar in a split push scenario when he's mini Gnar and just all in him and chase him down. So that is like one benefit of the Fizz pick in this game. But Maokai also works good against LeBlanc. When she dashes in, he can just W after her and stick to her. But you know, the main thing here is LeBlanc will have a very easy time trading with Twitch, trading with Karma, because they don't have a way to stop her. So lane matchup wise, LeBlanc, if she is ever in the same lane as Twitch and Karma, she's definitely going to win that. In this game, you know, what we need to look out for is Fizz post 6. I think LeBlanc should be able to do fine in this lane matchup. Bottom is going to be a push fiesta. I think Caitlyn and Janna are going to win quite heavily, and Karma is going to try to push back. Main thing is here with the Karma lane and the Twitch lane is that there's no redeeming factor. You know, even at level 6, they're going to be weaker than Caitlyn and Janna, and I think Caitlyn and Janna are going to continuously pressure this. And now it depends. All it depends on is how well Contracts and Jensen can control mid lane and then play into bottom to make sure that AHQ don't do the same. Because they have TPs, they have tools to maybe gank C9's bot lane from behind and do things like this. And as long as, you know, they win the 2v2 in mid lane, they can do this and gank onto bottom, and all of a sudden C9 can't push the same way. So it's all about this mid lane here and what happens in mid lane. C9 should have an advantage pre-level 6, and post-level 6 I feel like AHQ is going to have an advantage. Jarvan's ultimate is not that useful, but the main thing with Fizz is that he can one-shot most junglers, and when Gragas commits, and if Gragas just gets Fizz ultimate on him, then he's just gonna die, and it's going to be a problem. So all in all, I feel like C9 have an advantage early on here in the mid lane matchup, and they have to make sure to get some kind of advantage here onto Westor. That is usually the case with every Fizz matchup, and last time around, it's Jensen played against Faker Fizz, and he did get like 20 CS lead, and then eventually, like I think a fight broke loose, and like Xayah got caught. Like I think if I remember correctly, Sneaky got caught here, and then Lulu could roam for free because Xayah died, which was Sneaky, and then Lulu roamed into mid lane, and Fizz just got a kill onto Syndra for free. So let's see now how Jensen plays his lane. We see 2 corrupting potions. Westor is now being zoned off of the creeps. Can't really do much. If anything, maybe he should just like skill E and trade with LeBlanc. I think that works too. LeBlanc level 1 is not that strong, so if Westor like traded with her and corrupting potion, it's not that big of a deal. Because LeBlanc can't use her passive level 1 unless he skills chain. Maokai is going to be fine the early levels against Nar. I'm kind of disappointed Ziv didn't play anything else. Ziv, I remember him playing more of these aggressive matchups. I remember his Nar also being very good. Jace is considered the counter pick against Nar. Maokai kind of countered himself, but Maokai is, as a champion, very good at scaling and very good at locking down the LeBlanc, so it's not too terrible. Westor is getting heavily pressured in mid lane. He has a wave stacking in towards him, and I think Jensen's gonna get off a lot of harass. We see Corrupting Potion on the already one used for Westor. He has a wave stacking towards him, and Contracts is also supporting this. He's pinging the enemy Raptors. Mountain started top side and then did red Raptor into blue into Wolves, and now walking towards top side. Contract is now walking towards enemy golems. Maybe Mountain will run into him. It's a nicely put ward here from Contracts, and he sees this coming. Contracts smites the big golem, and AHQ, you know, their bot lane has been very impressive. They've won bot lane matchup that I think on paper they shouldn't be winning, and they played very, very well. LeBlanc has priority into this area, but it's a bit too far away for LeBlanc to move all the way, and Jensen should just continue to pressure in mid lane, and he does it fine. But Mountain gets most of these, so he's not too unhappy. Mountain can just base, and Contracts can maybe pressure onto this Maokai, but Maokai manages to push in time and walk away. And you can see Maokai put a ward both in river and in Tribush to keep himself safe. And Contracts has a lot of camps to work with, like his Gromp is up, his Wolves are up. Contracts made like a very red buff, red Raptor into blue buff clear, so he has all his camps open. Mountains clear is going to be a bit more efficient because his camps spawn in time, but the main thing here is that if Contracts does his camps now bases, he's going to be like in good time for Mountains Raptors to spawn, and that could be like a point of pressure for C9, because C9 have a lot of pressure in mid lane. You can see like the CS are almost tripled in favor of Jensen. Smoothie might be in trouble now. Sneaky has to flash. The Q ends up landing and flashes in as well. Kind of strange. I don't know what he was hoping for there, to crit maybe. Is he running crit runes? I think even if he crit every single auto, he wouldn't have killed Kaelin, so I think it's kind of a strange play. At least we see Anne running Fervor here, like a real man. Bang. Is not running Fervor. Didn't run Fervor at all. I thought it was really disappointing on Twitch and Varos. I think Banger deserves to be reported for that. Mountain now has Raptor spawn. Contract is nowhere to be found for the invade. Jensen didn't base yet, and Westor did, so it's kind of Westor might be a bit stronger in the fight. Like Jensen needs to push this in and then recall. I don't know what the state of the wave is, so I'm not just saying he needs to push it in, but I might be wrong. Yeah, the wave is kind of freezing, and it's hard for him to push it in right now. He's putting a lot of punish into Westor though, and Westor is using his last stack of Corrupting Potion, and Contracts is around, and that's a flash. Impact could get mega soon. He didn't get his boomerang though, and the flash from Maokai was flash for flash, and Impact is playing very well up top lane. Ziv is hyped up to be the best top laner in LMS, and right now C9 are putting down the pressure in mid lane and putting down the pressure up top lane. Contracts doing Wolves to punish the gank up top, but Albus is walking in here. Might be a bit deep. Albus has flash. Twitch is also coming in. C9 just need to run. Westor is also in the picture. Maybe he ultoed the wall. He doesn't. He becomes in from the back. Jensen's in position. Westor just running away because that's happening. Ooh, big item already on Jensen. He has the Hextech Revolver. It's such a good standalone item. It's adds to your burst. It procs the freaking Thunderlord as well, and it's a fantastic item. I love buying it on most mid laners, and it feels very satisfying to have it because it kind of bridges the gap between kill and no kill in a lot of cases, and I like it a lot. Min Siko. Oh, Ziv. Sorry, I for some reason I had my phone open and someone liked my tweet and I just read out his name out loud. My bad. I hid my phone away. You know how phones work nowadays? They're just so distracting. The lights are popping off. It's like addicting as a freaking one-armed bandit or something. It's just flashing, and everyone's addicted to social media nowadays. C9, keep pushing bottom. They've almost gotten half HP off of the bottom tower. They just want to maintain this push without anyone basing. I think the best scenario would be for C9 to base when they get Ardent Sensor and the BF Sword, and we'll see what An decides to buy, because we saw in the last game Bang decides to get a BF Sword and then Hurricane. I think that was fine. Doesn't seem too bad when you have a Lulu to just buy attack speed, because you synergize quite well with it. You know, An is playing a way worse matchup and he's running Fervor now, and his CS numbers are not that bad. Like he's stone cold even right now in CS, because there's 3 creeps here, and Sneaky is 3 CS ahead, and An didn't get that one, so as long as he doesn't get CS, so then he's no longer stone cold even. C9 now roaming into bot lane. Westo no TP, stuck on the turret. Westo also used his ultimate for something, so he doesn't have that, and right now C9 are definitely outnumbering the enemy team. Westo is forced to move. C9 are backing off. They don't know where Westo is. Westo's just gonna go back to mid lane, try to push. Mountain did in fact show on bottom tower, so it's not necessary to risk this. If Contracts keeps pressuring around bottom and just waits around here, similar to what Kundi did a lot in their games, is whenever Mountain is forced to be in bottom, it's a good situation, because then he's wasting time and Contracts is wasting time in a sense, and it becomes kind of even. And then the moment Mountain leaves and does something topside, then Contracts is in position to just dive bottom, because Sneaky and Smoothie should be able to perma push bottom here. And it's a big problem for AHQ that they have so hard losing matchups everywhere. It's kind of giving Jarvan no options to play to. He needs to just make this defensive plane to bottom and hope for the best. Westo does in fact have TP advantage now, so maybe they can create something out of that, but AHQ can't really put any TP wards behind the enemy team. And alright, we see an all-in, holy moly, impact. Okay, Impact just got turret aggro. Oh, that's the Fizz ultimate and the flash from Jensen and the burst. Ooh, it's all good. Corrupting potion is broken, boys. Okay, that was close. Strange flash from Jensen. Like, the flash didn't do anything. Jensen didn't flash anything. And right here, you know, the biggest issue here is that Impact, he auto attacks Ziv while he's being rooted. So he gets the turret aggro, turret shoots about 2 times, and that's enough for Maokai to get the kill there. And right there, you know, the flash was quite strange from Jensen. He goes for the random ass flash, and if anything, he should flash towards the direction of Contracts, so Contracts would catch the fish. Because this was a bit too close. This was about way too close for my comfort. Contracts is making sure that Mountain doesn't freeze the wave here. And eventually C9 will... Whoa. Eventually C9 will get bot lane tower right now. They're chipping away at it, and we don't see the turret health right now, but we have to assume that the turret is going to fall very soon, and it's going to push C9's gold advantage to even higher numbers. Right now, like, the CS differentials are massive everywhere, right? Together we have, I don't know, we have 34 CS, and then we have 22 CS up top, and then 15 CS up top, then 10 CS in the jungle, but that doesn't really matter. So we have like around 70 CS advantage on C9 altogether, and also first turret gold. I'm happy that Janna shares it, because maybe this pushes her to Ardent Sensor numbers. It would be crazy if Sneaky just gave Janna the full gold, and then Janna would be able to, like, maybe buy Ardent Sensor instantly. This could be a cute strategy to pull off. Let's take a look here in mid lane once again. Like, I mean, top lane, Impact, he auto attacks Ziv while being rooted. There's the auto attack, it lands. You can see the second stack going up on Ziv, and then also he fails his E. He doesn't E on Ziv, so he doesn't bounce over. So maybe, just maybe, Maokai, I mean, Gnar could survive a bit longer. And then the flashes were used from before. You remember when Maokai flashed W, then Gnar flashed away from the Jarvan gank and then got away. But there's a big deal here for Maokai. He's gonna slow down the point where Gnar is going to completely smash him. So as long as he can delay that for as long as possible, he's going to be very happy. He's working with no tower bottom though, so he's going to be kind of in an awkward position most of the time because Gnar can kind of chase him down. He doesn't have the tower to support him on the on the harassment like previously. Like he only killed Gnar because of the turret, right? And Maokai, if anything, is going to look to create some kind of play with his TP potentially. So I really like that C9 adapted. Instead of playing Ezreal and Graves every game, they are adapting to play Gragas, and it's working out for them fine. It's Contracts has played a lot of Gragas in the regular splits, and it's not something that he's too unfamiliar with. Jensen's also maintaining pressure in mid lane and is just committing to the roam up top. He does have TP. Wester will have a slight advantage, but Jensen's roam is all that is required, so it's a very well timed roam, and they get to top tower. And even though Wester has priority now, C9's top lane, like Caitlyn and Janna, are already back enough, so it doesn't make a difference that Wester has priority. They are the ones rotating into bot side, and they're rotating into mid lane right now. So something that AHQ are heavily lacking is wave clear. They maybe have to fizzle the wave or something like this. Like they could, if they wanted to, fizzle the wave, right? But maybe Contract could just catch it. They could also queue with Jarvan and maybe commit here with everyone. Contract is quite beefy already. He has his ooh, nice ult from Smoothie. And his, what the hell, dude? What was that? What is up with this? What is up with these ADs, man? He thinks he has 5 items or what? Who's he shooting for? Rewind that tape. Holy moly. You know, it's already quite desperate, you know. But AHQ, like, I think they should just try to clear these creeps. But then again, C9 can stay here for kind of forever. So AHQ are kind of using the best option by trying to engage on something. But C9 already disengaged with the Janna very well. Like the Janna ultimate was placed very neatly, and just goes for the int. That was a heavy int, man. What was that, bro? Didn't beat Cody-san. Let's remember. Okay. AHQ. Gnar now finishes back cleaver, so he's gonna run into more problems than before now, and you know, C9 are just gonna try to continue to siege this mid lane. You know, the beauty of their comp is like if they send Caitlyn and Janna top, they will beat Fizz, and LeBlanc will also beat Karma and Twitch. So LeBlanc can 1v2 at this point, and that is the problem of a lot of these Ardent Sensor supports, is that they cannot peel LeBlanc too good. LeBlanc, sure, maybe Lulu's hard or something like that, but even Lulu doesn't peel LeBlanc too good, because ever since they changed LeBlanc and made her into more of a ranged champion than a champion that needs to like W in to people to do damage, the dynamic of a lot of support matchups changed, because like LeBlanc can legit like Q and then ult and then like W, Q, ult and then like dash out, you know, in a lot of cases, and not a lot of things can stop that from happening, because she doesn't need to do damage with the W anymore. Oh, and with no flash. He just gets reminded of his flash all the time, his lack of flash. But C9 have priority top lane, and then they just walk into the enemy jungle after grabbing Rift Herald, and I suspect that Gragas is just gonna use the Rift Herald up top and continue the snowball that C9 had begun. That's what happens when you are AHQ and you just pick 3 lanes that are going to lose. And that is the League of Legends that we play. Nothing else. Ziv is hanging on strong though, and Rift Herald is summoned up top. Let's fast forward this a bit. Let's move on to the point where C9 actually pick up some Nashers, you know, and do some good shit, you know. It's very easy for C9 to play the game. For anyone that wonders, all they're doing is just maintaining priority, making sure that the enemy team is showing up on the waves, not taking risks while they're missing, and they're pushing up the waves, forcing HQ to show on the waves. When they show on the waves, they go into the jungle, take care of the vision, they put all the vision that they need, then they go back to the waves, push in the waves because they have full information of the enemy team, and then afterwards they just keep rotating and make sure that HQ on their feet. So for example, they push up top, Fizz showing top, then they rotate into mid lane, force Fizz to move in an awkward way into mid lane, then they go back top, kill the wave again, and then they force HQ to follow them with bad pathings. So that is the goal of C9. They're just pushing all the waves, maintaining vision in the enemy jungle, and then that's it. Here we see it in action. Ooh, Albus Dumbledore survives that one. He still had heal, so he was ice cold. You know, he was iced tea, not water tea. It was some good shit. But there you go, the dynamic of LeBlanc and Ardent Sense of Sports. She feeds off of them. An easy thing C9 could do here is just walk into bottom and pick up this tower, but they're leaving impact to it. Like after they push out mid wave, C9 can definitely just walk into bottom and support Nar and taking this turret, but it seems like C9 just want to take a mid tower, which is quite bold at this point in the game. But to be fair, their advantage is quite bold as well. C9 just walking in here, taking it, no problem. Alright, here's the engage. Ziv is coming in, found an angle from the bottom wave. C9 have a lot of money, so if this was the time to engage, and this, like if there ever was a time, then this is it. Sneak is also low mana, has to flash out, Mountain is too deep, and the disengage from C9 is just too strong to this for this predictable AHQ composition that only have one thing to do, and that is to engage at this point in time. And of course AHQ, they can't play the split push game, and they were just too weak in the early game. Let's fast forward this. Instead of the 5 seconds button, we're using the 10 seconds button. Inhibitor is down, and HQ are now trying something cheeky. You know, you remember we talked about how HQ need to show up on the waves. So Twitch is showing now. There's no Jarvan and Fizz. We don't have information from C9's angle where Jarvan and Fizz are. And after that, like, Twitch is now moving away, and C9 are taking an unnecessary risk here. Sneaky is so low, holy moly. Sneaky W. Ziv is pretty tanky, but he's eventually going down. Impact has the ultimate, hits Anne in the face. Anne kind of flashes too late, but we know how Anne is with his flashes. A bit desperate. And C9 are just coming in now to finish the game with the super creeps. Alright, C9. Now they just gotta hope for EDG to beat SKT. This was a very smooth game from C9. I think HQ completely sucked in the draft. They don't have any winning lane, and you know, LeBlanc just got too big of an advantage into Fizz. And after that happened, it was just too dark. Like, if anything was a redeeming factor for HQ was that they could potentially play through mid lane, but LeBlanc was stomping that Fizz way too hard for that to be a reality. And then they had the Gnar against the Maokai, and at the same time we had Caitlyn Janna into Twitch. And it was just a rough game from HQ from there. Like, if they were losing in mid lane, they had no win condition in the early game. And if you don't have win condition early game, you know, good luck in esports. Let's move on to the 6th game, and hopefully for C9's sake, it's the last one.